In this video, we're going to talk about um, include and define, and then if def, and then end if pair. So we're going to see how those things are working. Okay, so let's think about this toy program. Okay. I created foo.txt. It's basically printf foo foo foo. Okay. Well, the formatting and color is weird because it's text file. It's fine. So let's keep writing the code. Include foo.txt. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, will that work? Let's compile. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, the error message is no such file. Well, there is file, foo.txt. What is that? What is the problem? Yeah, the problem is the bracket. So when you include user-defined file, don't use this bracket, but use the quotation. Okay, that's something we did in IC210.h. Okay, anyway, let's do this. Now, will that compile? Yeah, it compiles. What would be the output? Foo, foo, foo. What about copying this? Okay, let's compile. Yeah. So what's our conclusion? Include is really what? Copy the source code, copy the contents into the file, included file here. That's it. So whatever the contents in foo text, just copy it, right? Okay. So nothing more than that. So define. Let's move on to the define. Okay, so define is quite similar. Copy the code. Define the code. Copy the define the contents. Here. Okay, what do I mean by that? So if you can define foo, printf foo foo foo. Let's say this. Okay, if you just specify foo here, or foo, will that compile? And what should be the output if that's the case? Compiles. Foo foo. So what happens is basically whenever the source code's compiler sees this foo, see if it is defined and just copy it, whatever the source code. Okay, you can define goo, like goo goo goo. Right? Then you can do something like this too. Then whenever the compiler sees goo, it will just print or is copy, you know, whatever the thing is, replace it. So goo goo. Okay. So that's what it is. Okay. Now let's think about if def. Okay. So here I define goo. Okay. So if def, if ndef goo define, let's just define here, define goo. And then printf goo. And if. Okay, so if and def and end if has to be used in pair, and then what's in between will be something that is considered. If and def or if def. So if and def is basically if is not defined, and if def is if it is defined. So here what is saying if and def goo. So if goo is not defined, what inside is defined goo, goo goo, and then printf goo. Okay. So what would be the output? Output should be simple, right? Because up to here, goo is not defined. So if and def goo will be true. And then whatever the thing will be actually considered. Okay. So if you see this, you have one goo goo. Now, let's just copy and paste here. Okay. What will be the output now? So far, this is good. But now up to here, goo is already defined here. So that means, well, this is false. If it is false, the compiler will just ignore what's inside in the source code level. Okay. So you will see still one goo goo. Okay. So to recap, so we learned three things. Include, copy the contents of the included file here. Define, copy the defined contents here. Define contents here. And then what? If def, if and def, and if. If it is not defined, if something is not defined, consider that. Just paste consider the code here. Okay. If it is defined, ignore that. Okay.